we have with us Mr. Mayank Goyal. Welcome to BW Businessworld.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Can you please tell me about yourself and about your company?
Sure. My name is Mayank and I'm the founder and CEO of moneyHOP. At moneyHOP, we're trying to build a cross-border payments and infrastructure company for remittance for related to education from emerging market to the world. We've processed close to $200 million through the platform and have saved about $5 million in remittance fees for this international students traveling abroad. India is our primary market of focus right now, but we're looking to expand to Southeast Asian market in the coming years.
Okay, so first of all, congratulations for this award.
Thank you.
Can you tell me what this award means to you and what have people?
I think it's always good to celebrate success, and I think this recognition of this award means not just a lot for me personally, but also for the people who are behind me, which is my entire company, folks who've been with us for 4 or 5 years since we have started this company and gotten us to this level. So I'd like to dedicate this award to the entire team who's working tirelessly and has put together blood, sweat, and tears in order to make this company a success.
Okay, so taking forward your cross-border business point, we are seeing a lot of geopolitical crisis in the Middle East right now. So
Yeah.
can you please tell me what are the things that hurdles such crisis when we talk about startup ecosystem in India?
Yeah, I think, see, India is a large consumption economy and we have about 1.4 billion people who consume various products and services. So certainly when it comes to a market, it's a great market and as a lot of people have been saying, it's going to be an Indian decade, right? So a lot of things are going to be driven by technology and we being the G20 leader, Jaishankar talking about the global south, all of these are good evidences of that. Having said that, none of the startup ecosystem, because it's so fragile, benefits from any such geopolitical tensions, right? So Israel-Hamas war doesn't necessarily directly impact the Indian ecosystem, but it has secondary degree effects, such as the interest rates going up and hence the liquidity drying up. But particular to our business, specific to our business, which is foreign education, things like India and Canada relationship is training, that certainly has impacts on us, right? Because people tend to look for alternative reasons to go, not to go, or change the venue where they want to study. So yeah, largely speaking, it doesn't benefit anybody, but liquidity certainly tends to dry up when there are such geopolitical issues.
Okay, so when we talk about geopolitical crisis, or you mentioned about the Canada and India rift. So how do you think that government should step up? Do you think there are areas where government is lacking in terms of contribution to the startup?
These are far beyond the remit of a particular government to control because these are bilateral issues, right? Neither Canada independently nor India independently want these issues to arise. What has happened is rather unfortunate, and because the Canadian-Indian ties have been always strong. But having said that, we feel that especially from an education perspective, the student should be shielded, right? Because if there's any geopolitical tension, the future of any student should not be hampered. So both Canada and Indian government should work together to make sure that the visa processing and other things happen on time and there's no delays around that so that people don't end up losing their admissions. That's what our request would be.
So are there any advice that you would like to give to young people who want to start their own business, or any do and don'ts that you should follow?
I think it's an extremely hard journey, and hence the conviction and has to be truly high. And I think I personally feel that the grit and the perseverance that the individual needs to show to be able to start a company and see through the emotional turmoil and the financial turmoil that the organization goes through can only be overcome because of the strength of the character that you have and the strength of the conviction that you have in the idea. So if anybody is trying to start anything, I think it's important to do your research thoroughly, take advice from the right players in the ecosystem, and have a very strong conviction in the idea and see through to the end.
So as we are all set 2024, do you think that India can witness another startup boom which we witnessed in 2021 and the early trends that you foresee for next year?
I think 2021 was specifically focused on digital transformation of businesses. That was primarily because of the COVID issues, right? So I would not necessarily consider that as a boom specifically for India. I think it was across. There was quantitative easing in the US, which led to a lot of money flowing into the emerging markets. India was an obvious choice, and hence we saw a lot of booms coming out of that. Next year, we're certainly seeing the market opening up when it comes to liquidity. We're seeing a lot of more interactions happening, a lot more funding happening. So in next decade, certainly I think we will see a lot more normalcy prevailing. This exuberance that we saw in 2021 is not going to repeat for sure. So people are going to be looking to funding the right startup with the right solid business plans and who are on the path to profitability. This concept of, well, let's just fund it and grow at any cost is not going to be there. So certainly I see the right businesses do well. The technology-led businesses which have a focus on machine learning and AI and API integrations kind of do relatively well in the coming year.
So there are concerns of an economic slowdown in Western world due to Ukraine war and something, and Middle East crisis. So do you think these areas going to impact India as well?
Any geopolitical tension. Yeah, so see, the impact that India directly has with the Western economy is the fund flow, right? Because well, there are certain startups which are focusing on a consumer economy in the West, but most of the Indian startups are just trying to solve Indian problems, right? And hence the direct impact we have is the liquidity dry up. I feel that coming out of the COVID, where the interest rate was super low, and then it suddenly shot up. The factors of the Ukrainian war, Gaza Hamas war have been priced in. So I don't see a direct impact of that. And I'm going to go on a limb and say that the product adoption of the Indian startups producing for the world is actually going to get taken up. And we have elections coming up next year. It's the national elections, so you're going to see a lot more fund flow coming into the country pertaining to that. So I think it's all good for us.
So my last question to you is, are there any internal goals and strategies that you're going to pursue in your company next year?
Yes, so next year we are looking very actively on the IFSC Gift City. I think that's going to be an important role for us. We are working with NPCI to take UPI international for education-related payments. So that's another thing. And lastly, we are focusing on expanding to Southeast Asia, which is Bangladesh, Vietnam, Philippines. So yeah, these are the three triangulated approach that we're taking for the expansion of the business.
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.